You're
What it is?
Why is word on the bottom now? She was up here before. Now she's down there.
okay. Hold on, babe. I got you. There
Yes, I like it better that way.
you go. Hold on. Let me adjust my volume.
This right here is my swag. Are you? Oh, rearranging things?
Hi, Cassie.
Cassidy in the house. Cassidy, you see that they're trying to keep me from watching the Cowboys right now?
Yes.
No, we're not trying to keep you from watching the Cowboys. You need to focus on your live that you wanted to do. Oh,
Oh, great. See? Not paying attention to the game they just scored. They're cheating us.
Get out of the screen.
right.
I
You
demand
said
it.
you weren't gonna look over.
I just
Hey,
glanced
Jay.
over as I was moving up and I saw that they scored.
She's gonna find excuses all live. I already know.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's not even that much time left. There's 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Hi guys.
But we need a
I am
touchdown, so.
Lily. I apologize for us skipping last week, but I had to put my cat down suddenly. As you guys know, sometimes cats and animals can be a part of your family. So I just wasn't up
They
to.
are.
That's true. I've never had an animal that wasn't a part of my family, but I just didn't feel up to it. So for those of you who keep asking, I was kind of avoiding sending a bunch of responses about it because I didn't want to think about it, but I am okay now. So here we are doing this unscripted word.
Yo, it's what used to be your favorite customizer word customs. I don't know what that might be to anybody now, but it's all gravy. I love everybody still, and I'm saying we're here trying to remain in the public eye because family situations do come up, and we support each other in those family situations. So. But we know that you guys love us and miss hearing us talk, and miss watching me rant about my Cowboys, which I'll probably be doing in a couple of minutes. So
No.
we're here for you guys. We're here for you guys.
Yes, and you know me, Dani Nicole, aka Caramel Wonder. I'm still your sock lady, so let's get into it. What we talking about today,
Oh,
ladies?
snap, you make socks?
You know I make socks.
Oh,
Don't
I
play
didn't
with me.
know that.
Both of
I
y'all
see.
want to get cut. Both of y'all want to get cut.
Why
I'm
we got
pretty
to
sure I have like
violet?
10 pairs of your socks already, so I know you make socks. But
I don't even got
word.
socks. Nobody.
You want to bring up the let's talk about resellers.
Resellers? That we should have made sure some resellers tuned in so they don't hear it after the fact. They want to get mad at us.
Get
Yeah,
mad
so
at us
I
for
would just
what?
have huh?
Get mad at us for what? We're just expressing our opinion.
Oh, right. I mean, we all know a ton of resellers. I was having conversations with a couple people in regards to resellers lately. And, because resellers are a big thing now, especially with people not working and idle and all that stuff. So the one thing that I feel like people never really touch on, which is always puzzling to me, because we're not going to discuss like the love and hate for resellers. They're not going away. They provide a service that is necessary to some of us. It's a part of the culture. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I'm not mad at resellers because I think we've all been a reseller at one point, even if we go after something we know we don't like, so we can use that to get something we do like. You know what I'm saying? So my question mainly on resale is how do we feel about not direct pricing or like a buy now price? Because I notice a lot of resellers, even ones that I mess with, they always post like, "Hey, I got the Mocha ones, size 8 through 13, DM for pricing." Now, I'm assuming you have a price in mind. Let's say you just so happen to get everything for retail. Of course, you already have a price that you would like to get in mind, and usually we base things off of StockX prices. But why is there not a price in that moment that you can put out there so that people don't have to hit you up? Because then they tell you to DM for price, but their DMs are now flooded, and they never see your message. And by the time they do, the shoe's gone, or whatever the case. So I do know that prices fluctuate daily. So even if you put up a price saying, "Hey, okay, today on Monday it's going for 400, so I want 400, for all of those sizes." Or even if you list a different price for each individual size, you put that price out there, and that price is good for Monday. And then Tuesday it might change, but that's the risk you run. But I feel like they just put hit me up because I feel like people are telling people different prices. And I want to know what they're basing that price off of. Like, is it, if I hit you up, you tell me 300, but if Dani hits you up, maybe you tell her 350 because, she has a lot of off-whites and you think her pockets are long. So you want to see how much money you can get. I don't know.
Hey, Erica. Hey,
I mean,
Franco.
it could be. I think it could be a mixture of both. I mean, more than likely, most of them are probably basing the price of what they're going for on like stock or go or maybe some of their local resale shops because they kind of set the temperature as far as the trend of the gauge of where the price is going to fall between. So they're probably basing off of that. And particularly now with it being hard to get shoes in store, you can't really get it in the store, and very hard to get it online. So you're kind of, if you don't get online like sneakers or a foot sites reservation, then if you really want the shoe, you're pretty much left at the resale option, which is one of the local guys on Instagram. Well, not necessarily local, but one of the guys on Instagram, or one of the resale avenues, eBay, StockX, or Go. With that being said, I do believe there may be a little bit of what Word said as far as when they say DM me for the pricing. They probably are telling different people different things. And I mean, it's their right. They have the product. So it could be, they could be giving it to somebody who they see, on their page. If they have a lot of off-white, yeah, that means that they probably spend a lot of money. So they may tell them a higher price. Or they could be say DM me, and let's say if Word is a constant purchaser, you like a little bit of a discount because they know you're a repeat customer. I mean, that's just my take on it.
And I can get with that, but still, I feel like you could put a price out there. You could put a base price, like, hey, minimum I want is 350. But if I'm cool with Dani and she's bought from me all the time, if you hit me up, you'd be like, hey, what do I send? You want me to send the 350? You might be like, oh no, you send me 325 or whatever. So you can make those side deals still, but you should have a max price, so to say, that you want to get for this shoe, like a buy now. So I feel like they're treating it kind of like a live eBay situation, where you might pin. Because I remember back in the day, the haggling, where, someone would be like, oh, I want 300. So I hit you up like, hey, I got the 300. Like, oh, somebody offered me 325. Like, you going to go up? Like, okay, I'll give you 330. Like, oh, somebody offered me 335. Like, we're not going to do a live eBay bid. If you want to bid, put that on eBay. Like, that's what you do. We're not going to do this live in person.
Well, I helped Skip sell a bunch of shoes a couple weeks ago, and he based all of his prices off of, it was kind of between what he bought it for and what StockX was selling that current size for. And we weren't doing it based off the last sales. We were doing it based on the bid or whatever price that shows up when you select the size. And there was a lot of people in the chat that were complaining like, oh, that shoe never sold for that price. Okay, but his price is his price.
Right.
But also, I know a couple of resellers who don't like to put out the price. I don't know why, but instead of putting out a price, they'll be like, DM me. And I know for a fact that they're going to give me a better deal than they would anybody else who either they didn't know or they've never done business with. And I get that, but when you get to the point where I need to go back and forth and like make an offer, okay, well, I make an offer, my offer almost always isn't going to be what you want for it. So if I say, hey, how much is this shoe? Just give me your price. Your price is your price.
Right. And that's what I went through with freaking T-Mic when, that whole situation went down. Basically it was supposed to be a trade, and he decided he didn't want the trade, which I respect. So I said, okay, how much do you want? He's like, oh, throw me an offer. Like, of course I want to offer you retail. I don't want to pay more than retail. So don't ask me for an offer. Just tell me, because I don't want to, give you something too low and disrespect you by being unfair, because I don't know what you went through to get that shoe or how far you had to drive or whatever. So just tell me what you want. Like, people are so worried about saying a number that's too low and be like, oh, they just snatched up. I should have went higher. Like, or start at a high number, and then if I look like I'm not interested, then you can lower it. Like, oh, okay, but I'll take, but I don't know. Are the people just trying to be greedy.
I don't think they have a right to feel disrespected if they're saying throw me an offer. Again, you don't
Right.
know what they went through or had to pay to get the shoe, but they didn't tell you that either. So whatever I
Right.
offer, my offer is my offer. The only thing you can tell me is no.
No.
And then at that point, and then it leaves it open for you to say how much you really do want for this shoe. I mean,
Right.
um, I know, again, it's their product. They have it. So it's up to you whether or not you want to pay their price. But I mean, damn, give me the option of the price. Don't say shoot me an offer, because if you say that, I'm going to tell you retail what's on the box. And then I'm going to try and drag it out of you. And if I got to play too many games with you, I'm not interested anymore. I'll go buy it off and go to StockX. That's just me,
Mhm.
Right.
honestly.
Because
Yeah.
they want to make you feel funny when you shoot an offer, and they're like, "Oh, you want to offer me this," but you see what it's going for in StockX. Like, well, obviously, if I wanted to pay StockX prices, I would have went directly there. I don't want to pay StockX. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to dick you, but I don't want to pay, that much, and I don't want to wait 5 years for StockX pair. So, I'm trying to work out a deal here with you, and also like this can bring you repeat customers. Like I know when I sell my stuff, I think this comes more so. Also, do you feel like it comes from the bigger resellers, like like on Retro Rico or Big Mo Kicks or Dramas like level, or do you think it comes from people who are getting one or two pair and trying to compete with them? I feel like it comes from the people with one or two pair. Like if you have a bunch of pair, obviously you're making more money. Like if I got 30 pair or something and I sell them for 50 over, I'm still making more money than if you get two pair and sell those pair for 100 over, 200 over.
That can definitely play a part of it. I mean, we know Big Mo personally, and that dude is a heavy hitter. Like he gets a lot of shoes. So of course his prices they're going to be reseller prices, but they may be a little lower than somebody who maybe only got two or three pair of said shoe.
Right.
So that's definitely part of the game. But nowadays people are trying to get the most they can possibly get because of the circumstances. They know people want the shoe, they're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. So I mean, it's supply and demand. It's either you're going to pay it or you're not. But my problem is just give me the price and then leave it up to me whether or not I want to take it off the table. Like when Skip hit on the Travis sixes, and I didn't hit, and I saw Skip had my size. I said, Skip, what you want for it? Just tell
Skip
me
for the
flat out
devil.
what you want for it. Whatever you want for it. If I want to pay it, I'll cash app you the money. If not, I'll say, you know what? Oh no, that's hurting my pockets. I'll find it somewhere else, so I'll wait. He gave me his price. I wanted the shoe. I paid him the money. It's just that simple. I mean, it shouldn't be a hard exchange. If you want the high, then come off high. I want this, and that's it. And then take it or leave it, and give the customer the option. But we're not going to play, Wheel of Fortune with these prices right now.
Yeah, no, not ever. I wouldn't, to be honest with you.
But the funniest thing is, because even we go through it with Big Mo, like you said, we've known Big Mo since what, 2012, 2013. So
Hmm.
we've been dealing with him before he even got as big as he is. And like
Hmm.
he is a hustler. Like he would drive any and everywhere to meet up with people, and he does it still, New York, New Jersey, wherever.
Yeah.
And anytime, like he was the guy, he would haggle us for like $5. He would like hit me up and be like, I'd be like, oh, I got this shoe. He'd be like, all right, let me get it from you. 300. We agree on 300. He comes and give me 275. I'm like, bro, we said 300. He's like, come on, man, $25 though. Like, yeah, my $25. Give it up, bro. Because if I tell you to take 25 off of your price, so it's funny how resellers want to haggle when you're selling to them. You know what I mean? But they don't want to hear you haggle them when they're selling to you.
it's
That's
it's
true.
all part of the game. Like they want to spend the least, of course, so they can make the most, and
Right,
you want to get the most.
right.
I think it's just the nature of the beast. I don't think it's ever going to go anywhere. It's
No,
always going to be a part of the game.
it doesn't
It's
matter
something
who
that we're
you
just going to have to
are,
deal with.
where you are.
But we can definitely express our feelings and emotions about it.
Yeah, as we do from time to time.
Right.
Um, but I know
I
the
mean, I shout
Warrant
out to Big
Lotus.
Mo. I think he's one of the first.
What was that?
Oh, I was a
Did
shout
you
out to
freeze?
Big Mo. He's one of the first who's doing the layaway type thing. Did I freeze?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I
You
froze.
glitched for a second.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was saying I I was saying shout out to Big Mo. I know he's one of the few people who had started off with the whole semi layaway type thing, which is a dope thing because maybe sometimes you see something a reseller has and you want it, but it's not payday or you got to do something else with your money. So he would let you put like $25 down, and then as long as you paid it off. I think at the time before COVID, he was giving you like 30 days or 60 days or something crazy. But once COVID came, I think he gave you like 2 weeks max.
That dude is definitely a hustler because he recently is not his only job. He does have a business that he does run, but he does do the layaway, which is pretty cool. He tells you, I don't know how this dude keeps track of all that, because the amount of shoes that he sells, the amount of because he strictly talks to you via DM because he doesn't want his text messages blowing up. How he keeps track of all of those DMs and how he keeps track of all of those shoes and who bought them and when people bought them, because he's had people pay for shoes and haven't picked up these shoes for like maybe months, and then you'll see a story on his Instagram saying, hey, oh boy, bought these shoes 6 months ago and I'm just giving it to him. I mean, very honest guy, but at the end of the day, he's a reseller. He's a hustler. He gonna go out there and get as many pairs as he want and get the price that he wants for them. But he is, willing to work with you. If you don't have all the money at the time, you can put money down and, pay it off little by little. And he of course, he had to adapt with the circumstances that were going on with COVID and everything, and people being strapped for cash because they may not be working at all or maybe working less hours. And, with stock and I think GOAT, you have that after pay or a firm pay where it's kind of the same thing.
They got a couple Klarna.
Yes, you're paying a little bit at a time. The only difference with them is you get the shoe up front with him. He's gonna hold the shoe until you pay for it and then ship it to you.
Hey Jim, hey Dre.
So essentially, his is a true layaway, and theirs is more of a finance.
Yeah.
I'm
not gonna lie, even as an employee for Champs, I loved the layaway thing because I would lay away like 3-4 pairs of shoes and just pay it off as I could, and then
layaway at Champs.
Yeah, and
I know that.
Since when? Last time I remember a store with layaway.
Still have layaway. I don't think they're doing layaway right now because of COVID, but prior to that, they definitely were.
Wow, I've never heard
that. A California thing? I'm about to go to the Champs. Well, I don't even know where Champs is. First of all, there's one Champ in every state.
It's like 5 stores across the whole globe.
Yeah, see, 313 said her Foot Locker has layaway. But I know the one
is the PayPal thing or like legit layaway?
No, it's legit layaway. You come, you pay a certain amount, and then you come and you pay it off.
I'm like, hey, I heard y'all got layaway in here. Let me get 6 of these.
Anyway, the Warren Lotus subject is going to take us a while, so we're going to move on to Nike Sportswear plus size, the campaign that they posted October 26th. Had some people quite mad, so we're going to share it.
Yo, people was in their fields. I'm mad. Nike still got them comments open for even people to continue to post the negativity on that post. It was just ridiculous. It was disgusting, and Nike needs to be dealt with behind that. That's ridiculous that they allowed that.
We're not going to show any of the comments, and luckily the comment that does show is from Let Tay Tell It. Shout out to her. It's a positive comment.
Yes.
So we're going to leave it at that.
You show the comments, or you just don't want to show them?
No, I don't want to show them.
They're nasty.
They're nasty comments.
I mean, they are nasty. People need to see how nasty people are, but that's fine. I get what you're doing. I didn't know if it was. I didn't know if we were gonna get clapped or something for showing it.
Oh no. I mean, we could get clapped just for showing the photo, but I mean, no, it's not that we're suppressing the comments, but I mean, we're gonna have to sit here and scroll, and
you guys could go. You guys could go do it for yourself. I mean, pull it up right now on Nike Sportswear. Post has been up for quite a while. I'm sure new comments are there.
Dre said, "Why suppress the comments? People are gonna always be people."
I mean, I don't mind showing it. I mean, if they don't want to, maybe they don't want to encourage.
I think he's talking about our comment of Nike keeping it up and allowing comments to still show.
I don't know. I mean, unless they're gonna come on there and comment about it, saying, "Hey, we don't stand with the ignorance" or something. But like, you're just letting people go at each other in a post is kind of irresponsible, I think. Like, I know, like, if I post something controversial and people start going at it, the best course of action is just to take it down. That way,
they can close the comments. They can stop people.
Gosh darn it, we lost.
Word.
Sorry. Well, the game's over at least. I had to see the last 7 seconds. I mean, shout out to the refs.
They could have left the comment. They could have closed the comment so people wouldn't continue to comment on it, because it was nothing but feuding going on the post. It was, the people that were in there, trying to keep, things positive about the post. Then you had all these other people coming in there. They were completely negative. And the crazy part about it is a lot of them were like, pages with no profile picture, barely any posts, or a lot of them were from like, other countries, this, that, and the third. It was just crazy, the stuff that they were saying about these women. And it's like why? Like, women come in all shapes and sizes, and who are you to say that they shouldn't be wearing sportswear? Like, because what are they supposed to work out in if they're, trying to do something about, the size of their body, the shape of their body? They need to cover up. You can't go to the gym naked. Like, what? I don't understand.
I still never understood the if it doesn't apply, or if it doesn't like if you don't need to wear these clothes, or like it's a picture, it's not bothering you, why do you need to come on here and be negative? Like, if you really cared about their health, you would find out who these models are, and if you're some kind of trainer, offer them a service.
I believe they're dancers.
Right.
I believe they're dancers, but their comments were so nasty. They were assuming that because these women are larger size or larger body, that they were unhealthy. I mean, there are people that are skinny that are unhealthy. Skinny people who have high blood pressure. Skinny people who have diabetes.
Skinny people who have eating disorders. Literally, women are going to come in all shapes and sizes, healthy, unhealthy. Like, I just, the ignorance in the comments was just, honestly, I thought we were better than that, but
no,
I guess not.
No,
I don't know.
We're not. And the crazy thing is, what annoys me is like, it's like all these little kids. Like, for the most part, it's a bunch of little kids. I mean, there was one guy who was he was saying he was a doctor, and saying, research shows or whatever. So, someone politely asked him, well, what kind of doctor are you? And he was like, you can go on my page and see. Like, well, why can't you just tell me if you are so concerned? And it ended up being a dentist. Like, bro, stop it. You're not a doctor.
Stick to teeth.
You're a dentist. You're a dentist. And that's what they told him. They were like, stick to teeth. Like, that's it. Like, just cut, like, because even doctors do this. Like, you come in and you're overweight, and they immediately want to say, well, if you lost some weight, you wouldn't be feeling this way. Like, no, you diagnose me like you would anybody else. Like, don't just assume weight has something to do with why I feel the way I feel.
Right.
Great about what? You're absolutely right, but I don't. Word always makes fun of me because I'm always the optimist, so I'm always trying to find the good in people. But clearly, these comments are telling me that I should stop trying to find the good in people, because
I used to be the optimist. I mean, I still low key am. I think everybody's supposed to think the way I do, and clearly that's wrong. The person that takes everything. I'm more so now the person that takes everything to heart. As far like I think people are the worst, but I just take it personally all the time. But it's ridiculous. Right. Like, there's just no need for it. It just shows you how many miserable people there are.
Right. And like, you mad? They the ones on Nike's Instagram page getting a promotion, and what are you behind a no profile pic having page saying something negative? You probably ugly, and your dog is too.
Not the dog.
Like, I feel bad because a couple of the commenters took me out my element, and I said some pretty harsh things. Told a couple of kids their mother should have swallowed them. But what are you gonna do?
Since having my awakening, I realized people are dicks. They're dancers. I'm smaller than them, but I ain't got the lung capacity to be dancing around. Pass me some chicken and I'll watch.
313 a mess.
Hold on, 313. You been drinking? You been sipping on something? 'Cause, you're making me feel like I was sipping on something by reading that.
Crazy.
That part.
There was also a video of they made a video that featured one of the plus size models, and
Mm-hmm.
it didn't get nearly as much like negative comments. Most likely because they featured a whole bunch of different women, sizes, ethnicities, etc. But
First of
crazy.
all, like
Go ahead.
being out in the forefront like that, big or small, takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of courage for them to be out there, because you're going to be looked at. You're going to be picked apart. You're going to be ridiculed. People are going to be whispering. People are going to be saying things, and it's just like, why can't you be positive? Like it's rough. Like back in my day when I was in the whole plus size movement, I used to go to the plus size fashion shows. One of my friends is an actual plus size model. Her name is Lyris. She was one of the dancers in Best Man, but she's a plus size model now, and I think she is I forget which model agency she's under. It's on the tip of my tongue. It'll probably come to me later. But I've been in a couple of plus size local fashion shows, and it's hard work. I couldn't do it, one, because I'm short. I'm like this tall. I'm 5'1", and these women are typically 5'10" and better, flat footed without heels. These chicks were literal Amazon standing on the stage, walking the runway with
Just
me.
one of those records that
And
you just admitted
it's
short.
so much hard work. Like you literally walk out on the runway, then you come back, go
Dani
backstage.
fits under my elbow.
Right. They snatch the clothes off you. You got people tucking, taping, putting stuff wet places, and throwing on shoes that don't fit. So to be out here, you have to applaud these women, because it's not easy. Not easy. And I think we just need to just be positive and be mindful that everyone doesn't look the same. Not everybody is a size 0. Not everybody is a size 20. There's an array and assortment of people, men and women. Like, you just got to respect that there's an avenue for everyone.
Right.
You know the
Exactly.
crazy part? The average woman is a size 8, right? But size 10 is considered a plus size.
It is.
And I'm like, so your average woman with
Size 8 is plus size as well, if you were in the modeling industry.
that's crazy, because it's like, I mean, a size 8 to me is tiny, but it's like that's considered plus size, and the average woman is that size.
Yeah, it's
Well, I mean,
crazy.
look at the actual the weight scale. Like with my height, I'm supposed to be like 160, bro. If I was 160, I would look like a freaking twig.
Your head would be very big.
Yes, it would definitely. Like, I think we need to stop focusing on weight and just focusing on being healthy and practicing good, like fitness and good eating habits
Yeah,
and
what
stuff like
the
that.
hell are you talking about?
I think it's not so much about like weight. It's about, you just like Bird said, being healthy. Because I have a friend that lives in Brooklyn, and she used to be a fitness, not a fitness, a, what do they call those people that compete for the muscles?
Bodybuilder.
The bodybuilder. She was a bodybuilder, and she competed, and like she was very, very stacked, very muscular, very big, very action figure. And she was a 230-pound woman of solid muscle, and by standard, she's overweight. You know what I'm saying? But she
I
was
guess what
extremely
helps with that,
healthy.
they go into your BMI.
Crazy.
The BMI is even worse. I don't even pay attention to it.
Right. But she probably had like little to no body fat, like 5-10%, if that.
Yeah. But it's just like, leave.
Get out.
If it don't apply, let it fly. Just scroll on past it. You ain't got to leave the negative comments. There's room for everybody. You can be Nike Sportswear plus size. Nike Sportswear is little people. You can be whatever you want.
You know when your granny said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing?
And then Facebook and Instagram came along, and they said, you can say whatever you want to anybody you want to, because you're important. This is what it is. Everybody feels like they're important enough to comment on. Like, I don't comment on everything unless I see like something like that where people were commenting negative. Then I jumped in that, because I was like, "Yo, why are you guys being so negative?" But if I see somebody post something I don't like it, I'm either gonna just like block you, unfollow you, or just keep it moving. There's no need to engage someone If you post something ignorant, you're only going to engage them back with more ignorant. So you're just going to be giving yourself a headache. I've learned that these past couple of days.
What do you mean past couple of days? I think we've learned this since quarantine started. I'm just saying.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't so bad.
313 is definitely right. You know, old people, they just say whatever.
Oh, yo, old people be the best. My grandma used to be like that. Look at you with your little fat self, looking so cute. Like, thank you.
Wait, was that a compliment or was that shade?
Listen, my grandmother knew to keep it to herself because I was quick with it. I was right back at her. If you're gonna give it, you gotta be able to receive it. You was rated E for everyone. Just know that.
She's like, who that? Yes, your little dark skinned friend coming over. Like, grandma doesn't know how you address people. Little chocolate friend.
Bruh.
This is not 1932, grandma. Stop it. Gotta love nanas.
Yep, you have to. Okay.
Let's talk about. Oh, did you want to add something else to that, babe?
No, nah, we good. I think.
Go ahead and start the peoples on the Warren Lotas update.
Well, I gotta start the peoples. I mean, here we are. Warren Lotas still doing us proud and keeping us entertained with his ongoing Nike battle. I mean, maybe if it was someone else, maybe we would want to root for him. I'm partially rooting for him because I just want to see. I'm happy to see someone taking on Nike, even though I feel like he's all the way in the wrong. But I'm happy to see that somebody's standing up because, me and customizer friends of mine, Nike has stolen our ideas, and granted, we do our customs on a Nike-based shoe for the most part, so we don't own any rights to it. But at the same time, give somebody credit for what they're doing. Like, partner up with some customizers. Like, Nike doesn't even want to do that, So it's funny that they want to come after somebody for stealing when they steal all the time. But here we are. And Warren Lotas, not a sneakerhead. I mean, he came into this game in 2017 with the clothing. He has the Reaper stuff. I think when I first discovered him was when I can't think of the guy's name, the basketball player from the Suns. He did a Warren Lotas like Kobe hoodie, and I think he wore it during All-Star Weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
And, we're not gonna bring Trump or Biden into anything. Let's not do that. But that's the first time I noticed him, and his clothes are blown up. I think why can't I think of the rapper? Oh, Kendrick Lamar. Where's his stuff? His stuff, I think, has been in like Neiman Marcus and stores. So he's making a great amount of money off of clothing. Like, he has drops, almost like Supreme has drops and waves and stuff like that. So I don't know what exactly made him turn to sneakers. I think he said something about wanting to have something to pair with a line of the clothing or whatever, and he just he literally like kind of Google searched the most popular, most expensive shoes and kind of mimicked that. So with his first pair, which was the Jason Lows, that was actually okay in my eyes and he didn't get bothered. Those are actually a pair that's out there and produced. The real version was a high, so he changed it to a low, and he also made a swoosh with the Jason mask. It fit. Yeah, Devin Booker. Thank you, JJ. It fit the theme. It was different from the original because it was kind of in the realm of the Cool Kai thing. Like, Cool Kai just switched the swoosh, so he just switched it from a high to a low. Then he went to, what did he do? The Heineken, the Stussy, and the last was the Pigeon. And Zaya was talking about it the other day, and he made a good point. He said, had he kept with the theme, he changed the high to a low. Maybe if he made all of the lows a high, maybe Nike wouldn't have had an argument.
Right.
Because now they're a high. But he didn't do that. So, Nike decided to sue. So they're back and forth in court now with this, and they put a halt to all his productions. He's now since said he would replace those shoes that were supposed to go out with his own new Reaper.
This one, right? The first one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the first one. So that's the one that's actually out there. Their pair's out there. I guess people are watching to see, whether or not what the outcome of this is, if they're going to go up, be high or low. That is the last and most recent that he actually got Jeff Staple to sign off on, which got Jeff Staple in a little bit of hot water. Warren has been including Jeff Staples in his proceedings. I don't know that Jeff has signed on to be participant in this, but he's definitely name as a backer. So we're going to see what happens with that. But we all do know that Nike unfollowed Jeff Staples, which is pretty big because Nike follows like 10 people. So it's going to be noticeable. And,
Well,
so
now
now
that I see them side by side, the resemblance is just not different enough.
It's not.
Yeah, that's it.
At
And I
all.
think the problem came where, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the Sneak This podcast. They might have said that there were kids trying to sell this new pigeon as the old pigeon because they didn't even know any better. They didn't know that there was a difference. So they were trying to sell it on like eBay and stuff as an actual verified pigeon. And that's kind of where it's like, all right, hold on. But, I think all of the talking about it on the internet, and like we did a show about it, everybody doing podcasts and stuff like that about it, is what kind of got him, on their radar. And they're just like, hold up. And I heard he did like crazy number, like 10,000 pair maybe. That's a lot of money. 10,000 pair, 300 a pair. Like, I think with the first ones, they were super limited runs. So now you're mass producing and making 300K off of our, layout. So now he's, gone to the Reaper design, but he's still using the same, dunk outsole, the same dunk body. He's just removed any type of swoosh and put that weird side paneling on it. And it's still aesthetically too close to a dunk. So, I don't think Nike's letting that fly as well.
Hilly vibes, though.
Huh?
It was giving me hilly vibes.
It kind of was.
It does give you. It just gives you like a real bootleg. Like that's what you expect to see in like a bootleg market. Like that's the old school bootlegs that we're used to at the the flea market status. Like yeah, it's just not a good look. Like he tried with that one, and maybe that's the most creative because of the patterns and stuff. But like the heel and the front little like Reaper blade thing, like it's not for me. It's not for me. A lot of people didn't really like it, but you still have the fatness of the tongue. You still have the sole. Like it's still the whole shape of a dunk. You didn't get far enough away from it, and you're already on the radar. So you would have had to basically just like go make a fake Jordan 3 or something. Like you can't just keep building off of the base of this model. Like it's not gonna fly. But what's the most amusing is Go ahead. Oh, the most amusing is he is trying to countersue Nike and trying to get the judge to kind of negate their trademark dress, basically saying that the makeup of the dunk is too close to basically a generalized type of shoe. So there's kind of no way to create a shoe and get away from having it look like their dunk. So he wants to kind of like knock out their trademarks that they've been paying for how many years now? How old is the dunk? Which sounds absolutely ridiculous, but in my mind, I don't want to believe that there's a lawyer out there taking this man's money and fighting a battle that he knows he's very well going to lose, right? That would be immoral. I don't know.
I mean,
he might got Johnny Cochran's team.
Corporate don't care.
But look at the sole though. We only see half of the picture of the sole, but if we turned over a pair of dunks,
yeah, it's the same sole. It's just instead of a Nike in the middle, it's a skull. Well, congratulations, you've changed 2% of the shoe.
Like, they're definitely gonna make an example out of him, because one, you tried it, and then you're trying to countersue them. That's only gonna make them more mad. They're gonna.
Oh, and that's also a part of his countersuit. He's trying to say that Nike is directly targeting him and has been letting people mimic their stuff for years. Well, guess what? If I own the rights to something, I can choose to sue anybody at any time that I choose to. I don't have to do that part. And now I'm going to make an example out of you because you're so cocky to think that you're going to come back and battle us as a company.
They're going to make an example out of him. They have an army of lawyers that probably make 6 figures an hour. And he's gonna have to pay all those legal fees. So this is definitely gonna be very interesting to watch, because they're spending their money to bring the suit. They're spending the money for their lawyers to handle this suit. So he's gonna have to pay for all of that, because he's not gonna win this battle. He's just not. They can drag it out until whoever, until he has nothing left to even fight with. Like, just let it go.
Moving pretty fast though.
Keep making clothes. Just let it go.
Well, honestly, I feel like he's just digging himself into a hole.
Right. Right.
It's like, why? Is it really that important to you? I mean, I can't tell him it's not important to him, but
I mean,
it
it's going
makes
to be
me.
historic. I think whether he wins or loses, it's going to be a historic moment for him even trying to battle
Yeah.
Nike as such a small, small company. But I also think that the Warren Lotas collection 2035 is still going to be paying royalties to Nike because that's how much money he's going to owe them. Like he's going to be paying them for the next 20 years out of all
Right.
his profits.
At the same time, it keeps attention on him. So pretty much any publicity at this time is good publicity.
Shout out to Chilltown, Jersey City in the building.
So even though it's not the best light cast on him, it's still a light cast on him. So people are still going to be, googling his name, searching for his name. It'll still bring attention to his site. He can still sell his clothes, and he's just going to go down in history, even if like you said he doesn't win, which I don't think he will. But like a little person that took on a major corporation like Nike.
Right. But it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy that this is even like I would have thought like with probably the evidence that we would imagine that Nike has, they would have tried to attempt to let him settle out of court. And I'm gonna guess that if he's countersuing, he's the one pursuing this. Like, we're gonna take it to the courts. Like, what are you thinking right now? I mean, I guess you got to stand tall and not be fearless in this instance because what other choice do you have? You've come this far. But in the beginning, when the lawsuit first started, he just told everybody, "Don't worry, you're gonna get your shoes. We're gonna send them out." Like, bro, you can't. They sent a cease and desist. What do you think you're sending out exactly? I'm confused. Did we know something you don't know? And I think now, like the first go round when it had just started, people were sitting patient because they're like, "Hey, if this doesn't happen, then those pigeons are going to be worth a lot of money." Now I see as the weeks go by, people are starting to request refunds, and as they send out, thing that he's sending out a thing saying, "Hey, you can get these different reapers in place of it." People are like, "Oh, nah, fam, hold that L, give me back my money."
That part, Erica. Exactly. That part. But
I mean, honestly, I think it is. Like, I'll give one thing to what I can't think of his name from the Sneak This podcast. He was saying, if you think about it, like with all of he said he's not in the sneaker community, so he shouldn't even be mentally programmed. But us being in the sneaker community, we just think about all the sneakers we know and love. So if you really sat down and tried to draw a shoe from scratch, you know how many parts of other shoes that we love would probably be, coupled in that shoe. It's very hard to create a shoe from scratch. But you could have created a whole new design, something like
he literally had everything spot on. He just put that little Jason hump on the swoosh.
right.
There was no difference in it at all. The pigeon was sitting exactly where it was on the night. Like, and first of all, what that pigeon and that Jason mask had to do with anything?
Right.
What?
That's the thing I didn't get. So the Jason mask on the original was perfect. He made the high a low, put a Jason mask on it. It fits. But why didn't maybe with the Heineken pair he could have put instead of a swoosh at the end he could have had the red Heineken star. Because with the Heineken pair, he didn't put the red star on that pair. So you're smart enough not to replicate that one exactly. So why did you think that you should have embroidered this pigeon on there? Why didn't you just make the swoosh into a pigeon head with a beak? I don't know anything. Just it could have been as dumb, but because of the colorway and because of the nostalgia of that shoe, people would have probably got it. You could always remove the swoosh and put a fake swoosh on there and call it a day. But it was making a good point. Also, now that it's out there, so one of the factory is going to start replicating it and putting pairs out there. Because if that happens, are they going to be worth anything anymore after this whole legal battle? If they're mass produced by some factory in China?
No, they're not going to be worth nothing. They're not going to be worth nothing. He could have put a full on Jason mask where that pigeon was sitting or something. Like you just had a pigeon sitting there.
Or he could have switched around the colors. He could have used the similar colors in a different way.
Right.
He could have even made it a high.
Yep.
Right. But I'm not even understanding the Jason mask because his thing is Reapers and Skeletons. So why did you even go, I get for the first one, it was a Jason shoe. So you thought about it, but then you just decided, let me put this Jason mask swoosh on everything else? It doesn't fit on a Stussy and it doesn't fit on a Heineken and it doesn't fit on a pigeon.
Well, the first ones were a hit.
Yeah, and maybe to him, the Jason mask is a type of Reaper. I don't
But
know.
the first ones were a hit, so he took it and ran with it.
Yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, like Zaya said, it was a money grab because if you look at the fastness of how he put out the last 3 pair within 2 months, and they were a couple of months, like 3 or 4 months off from the first pair he released. So he saw how much money or how fast it sold or how crazy people were going resale wise for that
Yep.
first pair, and then he was like, money time.
Yep.
And he thought getting Jeff Staple to say, "Hey, go for it, buddy," was going to be
Right.
saving grace, man. Jeff Staples don't own that, bruh.
But it's crazy how somebody who is not in the culture, the shoe sneaker culture like that, just came in, saw this opportunity, and was like, "I'm about to make this shoe," and we so easily just ate it up. Like Cool Kai, at least he is in the game. You know what I'm saying? That dude buys shoes like crazy. Like this dude is not a sneakerhead, and he was just like, "Yo, I'm about to really get my money," and we just ate it up.
I mean, but that's what people were glorifying. I know. In my SB group on Facebook, they really kind of couldn't stand it because the old SB heads, they don't want anybody
They not
coming
with
to
it.
replicate it. Yeah, and especially like if they got the originals, like no one wants somebody replicating their Paris dunk that might be worth $10K, and they don't want a chance for people. That's why they don't want them to re-release or retro, certain SBs. So it's just that's why usually when SBs retro, they come out if they were a low, they come out in a high or vice versa because you want to hold on to the nostalgia of that original pair or the value of that original pair. But
Right.
yeah, he should have just stayed in the game, or just he should have just more highly produced the Jason pair more. Like once he saw it sold out, he could have been like, "Oh, I'm doing a shock drop, second drop," and kept it at that. But he tried to get
He thought he was gonna stay under the radar, but that
Yeah.
shoe literally went viral. It was everywhere. You should have known they was gonna pick up on that. Like you know better. You know
Hey,
better.
you just put that out there. He might disrespect some more SBs. You never know.
I don't know. I want to believe that he's burned his hand on the stove and learned his lesson here. Depending on the outcome, I want to believe that. I know it's got to be a headache. I don't know if they're going back and forth the court or whatever, but just all this has to be a headache. But then again, he's constantly posting on his IG and his stories, and sort of a cocky manner. And you should know. I mean, your lawyer should be telling you to stay off of social media because even I was surprised. Like I have a car accident lawsuit pending, and when I went to my deposition where I had to tell my statement of what happened. The lawyer for the other side was telling me how dope my customs are. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about right now? Like, they're all up on my social media, making sure I'm not out here dunking basketballs and I'm really hurt. So, like, bro, stay off of social media, my guy. like, Nike just taking screenshots of this and they're going to bring it to court next time y'all go. And you're going to look sped. You're going to look sped.
This is going to be interesting watching this unfold, basically. We just got to sit back and just enjoy the show. Get your popcorn.
Right.
Because clearly he in for it. He in for the long haul. That's what he thinks anyway.
Any final thoughts, ladies?
I don't have any
Any
final
of the
thoughts.
topics? Anything else you want to discuss? I was gonna bring up me and Word watched a podcast called Hot Boxing, I believe.
What is that
And
about?
yeah.
Marijuana?
no,
well,
well,
it's
smoke while
titles.
they do the podcast, but it was actually a pretty interesting conversation that they were
Yeah, we can talk about
having.
that.
Go
I mean,
ahead, Word.
unless Danny wants to go, are you cool with? I know you didn't watch it.
We got like 10 more minutes. I just wanted to close it out,
Make it
but good topic to talk about real quick.
Yeah, with the hot boxing. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but basically hot boxing with Mike Tyson. It's his podcast. Obviously, it's revolved around weed. A lot of people have the weed businesses, so I guess they just sit in a room and they smoke and talk because most people when they smoke they become deeper, so to say. So he did right. Yeah, so he did an interview with was it Boosie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boosie. And he said he did this interview because his daughter actually pushed him. His daughter actually wanted to interview him after Boosie made those comments about D Wade's daughter, Zaya, who is
Transgender.
Transgender. I was like, is that the right word? Transgender. Yeah. So born a male and wants to identify as a female now. And Boozy made comments, some crazy comments, basically saying, please don't cut his dick off, and just assuming things. But none of that was said. Kind of being a little bit ignorant, and a lot of people took it the wrong way. A lot of people, chastised him or whatever. So Mike Tyson said he wasn't going to let his daughter, because he said his daughter's very passionate and it could have been a bad situation. So he said he would have him on the show and, ask him some of the hard-hitting questions. And it was funny because I guess in a way it's like almost like Mike can say anything to you and people may be still scared of him, so they won't jump back like they might at other people. And I'm not saying, Boosie was scared of him, but you could just tell how much, he let Mike get away with him saying, because Mike came at him like...
I don't think it was even getting away. I think it was like how much he respected Mike's opinion. And if you guys watch the video, it's on YouTube, like he literally just goes for it. Like there is no segue into it. He just goes for it. And he was like, "Are you gay?"
Right. He's like, do you think maybe you're talking about people's kids because you're gay? Like you like gay sex? Like, I'm like, whoa, you can't just come out like a black man like that. Like that's like to say that might be fighting words. And I mean, but he said it in such a subtle way.
Respect with a little bit of fear in there, because who's gonna check
Mike
Tyson?
Right. Because I feel like he might not have jumped in his face, but he was just like, nah, man, I'm straight as an arrow. And like that's a really calm answer for someone who just basically said,
it was a calm conversation and it could have went left quick.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I couldn't have went left. Mike would have went left and Boozy would have went across.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they both would have just been going left.
Right.
It would have been one left. Boozy would have been on the floor.
Oh, facts.
But I don't know why Boozy commenting on anybody's anything, because his corners of his mouth don't be looking right. Like, why is you talking? Like, what's going on?
But also, it wasn't very educated of Boosie to say those things, because you have to go through psychological evaluation. You have to be a certain age to even get that surgery. But right now, probably what they're focusing on is just helping transition, and the transition process is huge, especially at her age. Like, you want to make sure that mentally they're okay along the way.
Right. And Zaya never said that was the end game. It's just, this is what Zaya is living as now. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Zaya chooses to do that later, that's what Zaya chooses to do, later. But it's like people are just so ignorant to just say stuff instead of just doing the research and learning that this is not an easy process. Like my cousin was female and is now a male. And as a child, my aunt, her mother at the time, would constantly put barrettes in her hair, put dresses on her, and she was literally miserable. There's not one childhood photo where she, as a woman then, was smiling, because she always felt they were a man. My cousin now is a living life as a man, has had the surgery, there's no more boobs, there's, the bottom is done, and has been taking, the hormones and everything and the medication, and is going through the whole transition process and is living his life to the fullest. The happiest I've ever seen him before. And he's now 30 something years old and is living his true self. The whole 30 years prior to that was very miserable. Not a happy time ever. So when somebody feels as though that they feel a certain way, respect that. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know something about it, you can ask respectful questions, or you can do your own research. Like, Google is there. I'm pretty sure lots of people know how to use it, and just be mindful of, you don't know what they're going through. It's a lot of work. Like, my cousin had to go through a lot of psychological visits, a lot of counseling visits, a lot of doctor's visits for everything, and is now living his true self.
Because I think people think you could just wake up one morning and say, hey, I want to switch genders, and just go in and get a quick like surgery, like it's an oil change. Like it's not that. It is a process. It's a process for anything. Like even for like the weight loss surgery, I know it's just not like you can just say you want it. It's a whole mental process or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess people can't comprehend that someone would, feel like they're supposed to be so like like that God makes mistakes, quote unquote, or whatever the case may be. And I think Boozy was just expressing that he felt like Zaya was too young to make that decision, and for them to just go along with it, because kids at a young age they ask for everything, and you can't say yes to everything. But obviously, this is something that D Wade saw over time, because he's had his kids since they were young, like from their mothers. So he's been raising his kids. So I'm pretty sure he knows his kids. Like I don't think he would just do this definitely not for publicity, because all the ridicule that comes with it. But saying those things, like, and this kid is already in the public eye, and Zay is going to see these things. It's much harder on this process. Like, just keep it to yourself. And like, I think it was you, Dani, that was telling me about what he did for his like nephew, and what he was doing with sons, supposedly, taking them with hookers or whatever, and getting them like have
Yes, like you was basically allowing your child to be sexually assaulted, but having a conversation about somebody else's child living their true self. Like, let's not do that. And your corners of your mouth is nasty. Shut up.
She's not gonna let that hurt go. But yeah, I think made him see another side of everything and kind of understand. Because Mike was just like, and he said with the straightest face, he was like, literally, like, he said, "Who the fuck are you to comment on someone's child? Like, who do you think you are?" And Boozy was like, "You know what? My mother said that exact thing to me." So he's heard it.
But Boozy continued saying he's going to stand by every single word that he said so far. So, I mean, at least his mind is open to where he was wrong, but he still said he's going to stand by what he said. So,
and I can respect that. I mean, I think he just overall, once he said if he was 18, he wouldn't have said anything. So basically, I guess in his mind, he thought this means next week they're going to go out and, surgically turn Zaya into a woman. And that's not the case. So I think knowing that, maybe he feels like he can stay out of it. But I mean, I respect him standing by what he said, and I respect him owning where he was wrong. That's all, that's all we can ask.
Yeah. Keep them corners shut, basically.
Yeah, I don't need to see his face.
I think we can successfully end the live with #mouthcrust.
Yes. Shout out to Chilltown. #mouthcrust.
That's that Jersey City and thinking. You know all about that mouth crust in Jersey City.
Don't you start.
#skag.
Here she goes. She may be kicked out.
#skag.
It's all good above the average podcast. The bigger.
Hey.
Oh, you mean that's bigger commitment? 313. You can get divorced, but hell, if you feel like you're not the right gender, how can anyone dispute that? That's facts.
Right.
Oh yeah. Way before the fame. Salinas y los Dinos.
Oh, now he wants to say the Latin words correctly.
Exactly.
Yeah. You asked for it now, really, in Pineda.
Anywho.
Yeah, Dani's got some papers to write, and it's freezing cold in this living room. So, shout out to Way Before the Fame for the dope shirt. I don't got one, but it's I live vicariously.
Yeah, this is the old collection, bro. You had to be on the wave before we had him on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Anywho, anybody in the chat want to write these papers for me? Hit my DM.
Yeah, don't all run to her DMs at once, okay?
I might go live on Instagram just because I feel feisty.
No one actually.
I am hella laced, you guys.
She's hella laced.
I am hella cut off.
Yeah, hella cut off. No, she's not cut off. But I think we're gonna do 2 Sundays in a row just to kind of get back on our regular schedule.
Right.
So this was
because next week would be our actual week of show. So next week will be a normal show. Next Sunday, 7 p.m. will be our normal show.
Make sure you guys do your research on your favorite black sitcoms.
Black sitcoms next week, 7 p.m. It's your favorite customized work customs. or the favorite person you love to argue with on Instagram, whichever you so
Is she
choose.
talking in her mic?
She is.
I'm talking into
Oh,
the mic.
okay.
I want to feel
She-
important, okay?
You
Anywho,
are important.
You done? You done?
I am done.
Okay. Now that we done saved the best for last, y'all know who I am, Dani Nicole.
Okay, I'm not done.
AKA, you done now. AKA Caramel Wonder, your favorite sock lady. I do tie-dye socks, tie-dye t-shirts, tie-dye whatever you want. Hit that link, holla at me, make some purchases, and hit my DM for whoever want to write these 2 papers. I got
That
2
damn
pennies for
stock
you.
prices. Some people may be 10, some people may be 25. We don't know.
Anyway, and we out.
Anyway, bye guys.
Bye, guys.